Welcome back. You're watching an India Today Access My India exit poll special presentation. We've discussed Uttar Pradesh in great detail. I'll now focus on Punjab. This is the other very crucial election where if the Aam Aadmi Party were to win, it would fundamentally alter the future of Indian politics in my view. So let's take a look at what Access My India is projecting for Punjab, and then I will take you through what the other exit polls are saying. Access My India projects that the Aam Aadmi Party will bag between 42 to 51 seats in Punjab. This, to my mind, is a very, very strong debut by the Arvind Kejriwal-led AAP in Punjab. Access My India projects that the Congress could bag between 62 and 71. Remember, 59 is what you need to form a government. 62 to 71 suggests that the pollsters, the pollsters at Access My India believe that the Congress would be through, would get a simple majority. The biggest defeat, a total hammering at the hustings awaits the Shiromani Akali Dal BJP combine. Their tally projected to crash from 68 to just between 4 and 7. This would be a huge embarrassment for Sukhbir Singh Badal and for his father Prakash Singh Badal. Let's now take a look at the vote share data, which throws up interesting insights into where these votes are coming from. Access My India projects that the Aam Aadmi Party could bag about 34% of the vote share. Again, as I said, picking up 1/3 of the votes in your first election is a very, very strong beginning for AAP. The momentum clearly was on AAP's side, but as I'll show you just in a moment, maybe not enough. Access projects that the Congress will bag about 36% of the vote share, which is down 4% from the last time, but still fairly substantive given that you have a new force. So the Congress has by and large held on to its vote share from 2012. It hasn't surged beyond what it had last time. It's held on to its vote share. The Akali BJP combine, the biggest losers, crashing about 25% from 42% last time to 17% this time. A huge decimation for the Akalis. Let's now take you through the poll of poll numbers. This is the exit poll data by Access for India Today. I take you through the data put together by other pollsters. Let's start with MRC. MRC projects that Akalis will be down to 7. The Congress and the AAP, they believe, are locked in a dead heat at 55 each. So MRC suggesting a very, very close fight in Punjab. Lokniti CSDS suggests that the Akalis will do better than the other pollsters are suggesting. They're projecting 19 to 27 for the Akalis. Congress between 46 and 56, AAP between 36 and 46. They're saying nobody gets a full majority. Lokniti CSDS believes it will be a hung house in Punjab. India Today Access, I already told you about, projecting a clear majority for the Congress, giving them more than the halfway mark between 62 and 71. They're projecting a hammering for the Akalis. Chanakya as well, projecting a dead heat. Remember, Chanakya was projecting a big victory for the BJP in UP. They're projecting a dead heat in Punjab, 54 each for Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party. C voter is the outlier here. C voter is actually predicting a victory for the Aam Aadmi Party. They're projecting between 59 to 67 seats in Punjab for the AAP. Remember, if Punjab is won by AAP, C voter would be the only pollster to have predicted it, predicting between 59 to 67, suggesting that they would be forming a government by themselves. Here is the poll of polls. If I average out, remember, poll of polls is no science. It's very amusing. I saw on some TV channels, they were saying we have the most scientific poll of polls. That's just anybody who understands any amount of statistics will say that's a joke, because there is no science to poll of polls. You take all the polls together, you average them out, and this is what you get. So the poll of polls suggests 54 seats for the Congress, 52 seats for the Aam Aadmi Party, just a 2-seat gap. All polls directionally suggest that the Akalis will get hammered at the hustings. Where are these numbers coming from? Let's focus on that for a moment. I want to take you through the region-wise breakup. I also want to introduce our guest joining us this morning, India Today magazine's editorial director, Raj Chingappa. He's been editor in Punjab, was born in Punjab, always very proud of his Punjabi background. Raj Chingappa is joining us this morning. With us also is Rajdeep Sardesai. GVL Narasimha Rao is with us this morning. If the data is correct, he'll catch us and say, I projected that there would be a big Modi wave. You didn't believe me when we met in Uttar Pradesh. He'll have full bragging rights on the 17th. Also, HS Bes is an advisor to the Akali government. Thank you very much to our guests for joining us. I want to take you through the region-wise data. We'll start with Majha. Majha is in the north-east part of Uttar Pradesh. In Majha, the Congress is doing very well. The AAP very weak in Majha. Remember, one of the reasons why the AAP is not winning the election, in fact, the only reason the AAP is not winning the election is because it's not doing well across the state. It's doing well in pockets, not doing well in others. In Majha, the AAP is picking up only 22% of the vote share. The Congress expected to bag a whopping 48% of the vote share. Majha is where Amritsar is, Gurdaspur, Taran Taran, the northern parts of Punjab, which is also where Sidhu comes from, which is where Sardar Singh Chotepur came from the Aam Aadmi Party. He was evicted from AAP. Maybe that went against the Aam Aadmi Party in this area. They simply didn't have enough presence on the ground. In Majha, if you look at the seat share, Access My India projects that the Congress will bag 21 seats, AAP will bag only 2 out of the 25 seats of Majha. Let's now come to Doaba. Doaba is where there are lots of scheduled castes. Doaba is also where you've got a lot of NRI influence. If you look at the vote share data for Doaba, here again, it's a tighter fight with the Congress well in front. 38% vote share for the Congress in Doaba, 31% for the Aam Aadmi Party. So the AAP doing well in Doaba, but still trailing the Congress. 31% for the Aam Aadmi Party, 38% for the Congress, 16% for the Akalis. If you were to look at the 23 seats of Doaba and break it up, in this part of Punjab, the Congress has done much better than the Aam Aadmi Party. Access My India projects that AAP will pick up 5 seats out of the 23 in Doaba, 14 seats out of 23 for the Congress. The Akali is not even opening their account in Doaba. That would be mighty embarrassing for Sukhbir Badal. It's in Malwa where a whole different election seems to have been fought. Very different from the other two regions. Remember, Malwa is the biggest pocket of Punjab, 69 seats here. And in this data, the Aam Aadmi Party is picking up 39% of the vote share in Malwa. It's actually ahead by a substantive 8% from the Congress. The Congress is projected to bag only 31%. So if the whole state was Malwa, AAP would have swept. That's not happened because Malwa is the southern part of the state. That's where Patiala, Bathinda, Sangrur, this is where the AAP is very, very strong. 8% gap between AAP and the Congress. When you convert this into seats, the AAP actually picks up more seats than the Congress, 33 seats for AAP. But what this data shows is the Congress is doing well in its pockets in and around Patiala. So in and around the areas where Captain Amrinder Singh is strong, in the areas where the Congress has been traditionally strong, it's done well even in Malwa. So it's the Akalis who've got hammered in the Malwa region. Remember, Bathinda is in Malwa, the Akali, Pocket Borough, Lambi, Badal, all those villages are in the Malwa area. They've been hammered in their own homes. Very embarrassing this for the Badals if this data is correct. I want to go across to Raj Chingappa first. What this data shows is that the momentum, Raj, was with the Aam Aadmi Party, but they didn't have a sweep across the state. If Malwa was Punjab, AAP would have won. But because Malwa is not Punjab and they weren't strong in Majha, weren't as strong in Doaba, that's what's held them back.
Well, you know, this is obviously an exit poll, and the actual results might differ from this. And all the polls that you've described so far, the poll of the polls, shows it's a very closely fought election. AAP has done remarkably well. It has challenged the two established parties over there, continuing their performance in the Lok Sabha. If they're able to turn around a couple of seats, they could as well be in the driver's seat as currently Captain Amrinder is from your exit polls. What it does show is, you're right, if the AAP had not just confined itself considerably to the Malwa region, though it is the most powerful region in Punjab, they needed to pick up seats in Majha, as well as in the Doab region. They, so far from what the polls indicate, they have not been able to do that, and that's why they dropped to around 50 or below that. Congress, this was an election they should be winning. They should have won the last 2012 elections. They didn't do that. They conceded that to Akalis, who made a historic consecutive win. Finally, they seem to be coming thanks to Captain Amrinder Singh, and I think that's largely because of his leadership and the kind of direction that he's showing, that the Congress has come back with such is doing such a strong performance.
Introduce also now senior Aam Aadmi Party leader and the man who's led the campaign for Arvind Kejriwal and AAP in Punjab. Sanjay Singh is joining us on this broadcast. Sanjay ji, welcome to India Today. If this exit poll data is correct, it suggests that the Aam Aadmi Party has swept Malwa, done very strongly, but because of limited presence in Maja especially and not so substantive presence in Doaba, the AAP surge has been contained in Malwa. आपने जितनी ताकत मालवा में लगाई, जितना परफॉर्मेंस आपका अच्छा मालवा में था, आपने अकालियों को तो हराया, लेकिन माजा और दोआबा में आपने अच्छा नहीं किया, ये एग्जिट पोल दिखाता है।
राहुल कंवल जी मुझे लगता है कि सही जानकारी के लिए आपको कल तक रुकना पड़ेगा, और मैं अभी भी पूरे यकीन और भरोसे के साथ कह रहा हूं कि प्रचंड बहुमत के साथ आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनेगी। मालवा में भी स्वीप करेंगे, द्वाबा में भी करेंगे, और माजा के इलाके में भी आम आदमी पार्टी की परफॉर्मेंस बहुत बेहतर आएगी। जो आंकड़े आप दिखा रहे हैं, मैंने बार बार कहा ओपिनियन पोल के भी दौरान, और आज फिर कह रहा हूं कि आंकड़े सही नहीं है। ये आंकड़े कल जब रिजल्ट आएंगे तो आपको इन आंकड़ों में बहुत बड़ा फेरबदल नजर आएगा, हकीकत जमीन की बिल्कुल अलग नजर आएगी। दूसरी बात कि कल सारे टीवी चैनल्स ने जो एग्जिट पोल दिखाया है, उसमें 2 टीवी चैनल सर्वे में हमको 12 सीट दे रहे थे, ओपिनियन पोल में 12-13 सीट दे रहे थे। कल वही टीवी चैनल कोई 54 सीट दे रहा है, कोई 55 सीट दे रहा है, और इसी तरह से 2 टीवी चैनल बहुमत की सरकार बना रहे हैं आम आदमी पार्टी की। तो किसकी बात पर यकीन किया जाए, किस सर्वे पर और किस ओपिनियन पोल पर और किस एग्जिट पोल पे भरोसा किया जाए? मुझे लगता है कि कल सुबह 10 बजे तक इंतजार कर लीजिए, सारी तस्वीर बिल्कुल साफ हो जाएगी। आम आदमी पार्टी की लहर पूरे पंजाब में चली है और ये परिणाम में आपको देखने को मिलेगी।
Fair point. Stay with me. I want to go across to Rajdeep Sardesai. It's safest for us, Rajdeep, to hedge our bets on Punjab because A, Arvind Kejriwal has proven pollsters wrong in Delhi twice over. More importantly, AAP is a new force, and therefore it's far easier for a pollster to pick up data for an existing party like the SP, the BSP, where you know roughly what their vote shares are, who their supporters are, rather than a new force like AAP where it's all up in the air and the pollsters find it tougher to pick up data trends for a new party than for an established party.
Absolutely right, I think, Rahul, because particularly when you've got 2 exit polls saying it's a hung assembly, 1 exit poll saying the Aam Aadmi Party is winning, the other exit poll, our exit poll, saying the Congress is ahead. So clearly that gives a mixed picture, and that would suggest at the moment, given the razor thin margins, remember a 1 or 2% swing in favor of the AAP, even in our poll, would mean that the AAP would have the majority and not the Congress. So well within the margin of error. Plus 2 things. My belief has been if the Akalis are doing as badly as our poll suggests, then the AAP will be the beneficiary. Because the AAP has primarily targeted the Akalis. So if the Akalis are down to single digits, which I don't personally believe, but if they are down to single digits, as our poll suggests, then the Aam Aadmi Party, to my mind, would be the big beneficiary, not so much the Congress. Number 3, in a state like Punjab, there is the fear factor. When you go into rural Punjab, not many people are willing to openly say that they are voting against the Akalis. And it would be interesting to see who those voters possibly are actually voting for. Who is the lie factor, as I call it, actually benefiting in Punjab?
You're saying there's a fear factor against the Akalis. That would be true if the data seemed to suggest that the Akalis were doing very well. But given that this data is suggesting that the Akalis could be down to between 4 and 7 seats with the BJP, there doesn't seem to be much of a fear factor in this poll.
They could be lying for the Congress.
Okay.
They could be lying even in favor of the Congress. Remember, the Aam Aadmi Party is the outlier in Punjab politics. They are seen to be the force which people are uncertain about and don't openly in some parts of Punjab want to commit themselves to. My sense is, if our poll is right, it's because in the last week or so, there was a switch in votes, particularly in urban Punjab. The BJP voter went for the Congress. A section of the Akali voters also plumped for the Congress. They didn't want the Aam Aadmi Party for whatever reason. If our poll is right, that switch will perhaps reflect. If our poll is wrong, it will be because the Akalis have possibly done better than expected, and you'll have a hung assembly scenario. But if the Akalis completely collapse, I do believe the Aam Aadmi Party has reason to believe that it is in with a shout. You know, the big question, Rahul, is does the Congress have the last mile connectivity? We are seeing this in state after state. Does the Congress have that booth level worker who's going and canvassing for every last vote? The hunger that I saw in the Aam Aadmi Party, I didn't see in the Congress. If the Congress wins, it's by default because the Aam Aadmi Party may have scored 1 or 2 self-goals, particularly in the Majha belt and even in parts of Malwa. But if it wins, it'll be because the AAP, like the BJP in UP, was simply more hungry for success than its rivals, was willing to go for the last mile connectivity, and remember, was preparing its campaign a year ago. Unlike the Congress, which only anointed Amrinder Singh just a couple of weeks before the actual polling day. So I think that could
about
be to
some
the benefit of
self-goals by the Aam Aadmi Party, and that's a very good question. I want to put that to Sanjay Singh. Sanjay ji, ये एग्जिट पोल का डेटा दिखाता है कि अगर आपने नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू को संभवतः लिया होता, अगर सरदार सिंह छोटेपुर को आपने पार्टी से नहीं निकाला होता, वो माजा रीजन से आते हैं, वहाँ पे उनका दखल है, उनको वहाँ पे हैंडल करना था इलेक्शन। केवल 2% का गैप है हमारे पोल में आपके और कांग्रेस के बीच में। अगर माझा में सिद्धू के आने से कांग्रेस ने अच्छा किया है, कुछ फायदा उनको मिला है, अगर ये 2 गलतियां आपसे नहीं हुई होती या 2 चीजें नहीं हुई होती, गलतियां कहें वो तो बाद में पता चलेगा, लेकिन 2 चीजें नहीं होती तो आपकी स्थिति और मजबूत होती।
राहुल कंवल जी, एक एक करके मैं बातों का जवाब दूंगा। राजदीप ने भी जो बात कही है और आप जो सवाल पूछ रहे हैं, पहली बात तो यह कि आम आदमी पार्टी ने पिछले 1-1.5 साल से लगातार परिवार जोड़ो कैंपेन करके, पंजाब जोड़ो कैंपेन करके, रैलियां करके, सभाएं करके, टिकटें पहले डिक्लेयर करके, हमने अपनी कैंपेन बहुत पहले स्टार्ट कर दी थी और हमारे जो कैंडिडेट्स थे वो जनता के बीच में थे, घर घर जाके अपनी बातें समझा रहे थे, प्रचार कर रहे थे। जिस अंतिम 2 हफ्तों की बात कह रहे हैं कि शहरी मतदाताओं का झुकाव कांग्रेस की ओर हुआ, मैं इससे सहमत नहीं हूं, क्योंकि कांग्रेस पार्टी ने अपने टिकटें बहुत लेट डिक्लेयर की। कांग्रेस पार्टी ने नॉमिनेशन के 2 दिन पहले अपनी टिकट्स सारी डिक्लेयर की और आम आदमी पार्टी का कैंपेन अंतिम दिन तक लगातार चढ़ता रहा है। अगर आपको याद हो तो 2 फरवरी को जिस दिन अंतिम दिन था कैंपेन का, 104 असेंबलीज के अंदर जो रोड शो किया है आम आदमी पार्टी ने, वो ऐतिहासिक था। पूरा पंजाब सड़कों पे था और एक वातावरण ये पंजाब के अंदर बना कि आम आदमी पार्टी स्वीप कर रही है। इसलिए आप देखिएगा गांवों में, शहरों में, पूरे पंजाब में आम आदमी पार्टी बेहतर करेगी। जिन 2 घटनाओं का आपने जिक्र किया, नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू और छोटेपुर जी का, उसके बारे में बार बार आपके चैनल पर मैं बता चुका हूं कि परिस्थितियां क्या थी। जहां तक नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू का प्रश्न है, अगर किसी व्यक्ति के मन में जरूरत से ज्यादा महत्वाकांक्षा होगी, अगर वो नाप तौल करेगा कहां हमको फायदा है, कहां नुकसान है, तब वो पंजाब की लड़ाई में हमारे साथ ईमानदारी से नहीं आ सकते थे। और इसी कारण से उन्होंने जिस कांग्रेस पार्टी को वो 84 का दोषी मानते थे, जिस कांग्रेस पार्टी को वो मुन्नी से ज्यादा बदनाम कहते थे, उसी कांग्रेस पार्टी का दामन उनको पकड़ना पड़ा और इसके कारण से नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू की पूरे पंजाब में छवि भी खराब हुई है। दूसरी बात, आपके टीवी चैनल के सर्वे के बारे में मैं राहुल कंवल जी कहना चाहता हूं। 2013 में आम आदमी पार्टी को आपने 6 सीटें दी थी। 2015 के चुनाव में पहले आपने 18 दी और अंत में एग्जिट पोल में आपने 32-33 सीटें दी। फिर जो भी आपके आंकड़े रहे, हर बार आपके आंकड़ों को, आपके टीवी चैनल को आम आदमी पार्टी के बारे में दिए गए,
मैं आपको सिर्फ ये बता दूं संजय जी,
शर्मिंदा होना पड़ता है।
नहीं,
शर्मिंदा होना पड़ता है।
मैं आपको एक चीज बताऊं, one second, can I just clarify this? No poll stuff. First and foremost, this is not India Today data. This is data by the Axis My India. Just one second. A healthy distance is important. This is not data compiled by anybody at India Today. This is data compiled by Access My India for India Today. We have absolutely no say in the data or in his findings or how he does his survey. He comes, he gives us the numbers, we air those.
Right,
but I accept, and I said this at the beginning, Sanjay ji, that pollsters have been wrong. Pollsters have been wrong about AAP in the past. That's because it's a new formation and it's tough for a pollster to get the new formations vote share right. But Sanjay ji, आप ये सोचिए ना, कोई जानबूझ के थोड़ी, अरे संजय जी, पोलस्टर की तो इज्जत दाव पे है. आप कह रहे हैं कि हमें भी शर्मिंदा होना पड़े. कोई पोलस्टर जानबूझ के तो अपना डेटा गलत नहीं करेगा ना. वो तो जितना बेस्ट हो सकता है वो करने की कोशिश करेगा. जानबूझ के थोड़ी कोई गलती गलत करेगा.
Can I ask you a question?
तो कल कम से कम एक्सिस वाले को अपने टीवी पर बैठाल के ये जरूर कहलवा दीजिएगा कि उनके आंकड़े झूठे थे और आगे से वो ठीक करेंगे, ऐसा कहलवा दीजिएगा.
नहीं, वो तो कहलवाना ही पड़ेगा. शिवम विज हैज अ क्वेश्चन फॉर संजय जी.
संजय जी,
10 बजे के बाद.
संजय जी, कांग्रेस ने जो जॉब कार्ड लाया पंजाब में आखिरी टाइम पे, उससे क्या आपको नुकसान हुआ है? क्योंकि आपने भी फिर उसको कॉपी किया, तो उससे साफ लगता है कि आपको उससे थोड़ी सी परेशानी हुई.
अच्छा, तो आप हमारी कैंपेन को, अगर आपने हमारी कैंपेन को पूरा फॉलो किया हो तो हमने पहली बात पंजाब डायलॉग के माध्यम से हर सेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी की प्रॉब्लम अपने मैनिफेस्टो में रखी, उसको कैसे सॉल्व करेंगे ये बहुत क्लियर कट उनके सामने बताया. जहां तक आप जॉब कार्ड की बात बता रहे हैं, जॉब कार्ड जितना कांग्रेसियों ने बांटा उससे ज्यादा आम आदमी पार्टी के लोगों ने जॉब कार्ड बांटा है और घर घर में हमारे भी जॉब कार्ड गए. आवाज बहुत इको हो रही है राहुल जी.
बोलिए, अच्छी आवाज आ रही है, मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. आप रहिए. मैं एक बार एचएस बैस से भी पूछना चाहता हूं. He is the advisor to the Akali government. He is feeling neglected. The voters seem to have neglected the Akalis as well. I'm coming back to you just in a moment. Mr. Bass, what's the mood in the Akali camp? All the exit polls, they may be confused about whether Congress is winning or AAP, but all the exit polls are clear. Directionally, they're suggesting that Akalis are headed for a hammering at the hustings.
See, first of all, we are quite used to being written off. Raj Changappa ji is here. He would tell you that last time also we were written off by everybody. In the last 4 elections, in the last 20 years, we have not been given a chance by any pollster, and we have formed government 3 times out of 4. So therefore, as far as the Akali Dal is concerned, I will still, hold my horses and wait till tomorrow. But looking at your percentages, you are telling that the Congress is getting 39% in Malwa region, and the vote share difference between Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress Party is 8%. Now you take it from me, if there is 8% difference between Congress and AAP, then you can forget about Congress. Then it's AAP all the way, because 8% gap is such a huge gap that it would mean a clean sweep. Therefore, I don't see how the Congress can win how the Congress can win, and not sweep. I mean, not just win. How the Congress can
I will
not
explain,
sweep.
Mr. Bass, why the data shows. That's a good point that you've raised. You're talking about Malwa. You're asking why there's a 8% vote share gap between Congress and AAP, and yet the AAP is not sweeping Malwa. The reason for that is a lot of the AAP's vote share seems to be concentrated. So where they're winning big. In seats like Bathinda, seats like Sangrur, they're winning spectacularly. Essentially, a lot of that vote is getting wasted, but they're very weak in other districts, in other pockets like Maja, in Doaba, they're weak. So where they're winning, there's a sweep, there's a tsunami where they're winning. But the Congress is holding on in pockets in and around Punjab. Rajpura, for example, they're holding on over there in and around where the captain comes from. Therefore, even though there's a big vote share gap, it's not translating into seats. I have a lot to talk about, but I'm coming back to you, Mr. Bass, in a very quick moment because I'm taking a break. We'll have a lot more for you. We've got guests from across political parties with us. We'll continue talking about Punjab when we come back on the other side of a very quick break. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching an India Today special broadcast. We're looking at the Punjab War for Thrones, and I want to pull out now some very interesting data insights gleaned from the Access My India exit poll. This is about age group data. Remember, if you look at the first-time voters, the young voters between 18 and 25, they are voting in Punjab squarely for the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's take a look at the data to tell you what I'm talking about. We're now looking at data for people between 18 and 25-year-old. This data suggests that 46% of people between 18 and 25 say they are voting for the Aam Aadmi Party. The AAP's overall vote share is only 34%. So 46% means 12% more youngsters than other people are saying they're voting for AAP. 27% say they'll vote for Congress, which is 29% say they'll vote for Congress, which is lesser than the 36% who say they'll vote for Congress otherwise. So 7% lesser people say they'll vote for Congress amongst the youth. Akalis are at 15, which is 2% less than their overall vote share. And this is very, very interesting. I'll pull out the other age groups as we continue this discussion. But if you were to look at this data, Rajchingappa, 46% of youngsters saying they'll vote for Kejriwal. That's an incredible number. In Uttar Pradesh, Akhilesh would have thought he'd have a lot of the youth vote. He didn't. BJP got more youth vote than Akhilesh according to this exit poll data. But if 46% of youngsters across the state of Punjab say they're voting for the Aam Aadmi Party, that's a huge youth dividend in favor of AAP. Rajchingappa?
Rahul, if you look at the figures that you've been throwing at, can you hear me?
I hear you, sir. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
I hear you. Go ahead.
It is remarkable in many senses because it reflects the disillusionment that the young have in both in terms of the parties, the two existing parties, the established parties. You can see that very clearly by what the vote percentages, if it is true. And if the AAP does overcome whatever the exit polls are showing and actually comes out the winner, one of the reasons would be its large support across the youth. As a matter of fact, not only in Malwa region but across Punjab, you can find take issues like drugs that has been widely discussed, unemployment, particularly not just in urban centers but among agriculture, the youth of Punjab, where agriculture has been stagnant. You've had farmers' deaths, quite a large number. So if the youth are voting very strongly for AAP, if they were able to back it up with others in other regions, they would have certainly surged ahead. But I think both the parties, both the Akali and the BJP combined, as well as the Congress, should take note of the fact. And if AAP does win, I think it will reflect disillusionment of these two established parties and their ability to deliver. This will also, in some senses, break the Panthik and the caste and communal sort of votes that normally decided Punjab. It will be extraordinary if AAP, as one of the politicians on our channel just now was talking about the AAP spokesperson, if they come out the winner, because then the entire focus would be Kejriwal. The only reason I believe what we were discussing earlier is that maybe the leadership issue would begin to have its toll, and the fact that they were not able to project a strong leader, and Captain Amrinder Singh is seen as one of an established leader that might finally...
This is a question that will do the rounds a lot. Is this a victory of Amrinder Singh? Is it a victory of Rahul Gandhi? Because if the Congress does badly in UP, people will blame Rahul Gandhi. If the Congress does well in Punjab, they will say this is thanks to Amrinder Singh. Is that at all fair? Or do you think Rahul Gandhi must also get a share if the Congress does well? Well, he led the campaign, so he must have some share, you think?
Well, look, I think, Rahul, it's very clear. Rahul Gandhi, at the end of the day, is someone who's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. But the fact is, as I said earlier, Amrinder Singh was officially anointed as the chief ministerial candidate of the Congress just a couple of weeks before actual polling day. Now, what Amrinder Singh might well feel, therefore, is that this is his victory, because he's the one who for the last 6 months has been slogging away at Punjab. Rahul Gandhi has gone to Punjab, had a couple of rallies, but it's not been the kind of blitzkrieg like, let's say, an Amit Shah or a Narendra Modi have unleashed in Uttar Pradesh. So Rahul Gandhi cannot entirely be denied credit if the Congress wins in Punjab, but the principal credit will go to Amrinder Singh. If you saw the posters, it was the captain who was being projected by the end as the man who Punjab should be voting for. And I think the fact that the Aam Aadmi Party didn't have a strong Sikh candidate could return to haunt it. As I said, I believe Punjab is still an open game, Rahul. You cannot predict based on the exit polls when 4 exit polls are giving 4 very different conclusions. But yes, by the end, Amrinder Singh was more of an asset to the Congress than a liability. On the other hand, my sense is that at a national level, Rahul Gandhi is not that kind of an asset for the Congress. He's trying hard, but clearly when you measure him up against Mr. Modi and Mr. Modi's communication skills, Rahul Gandhi falls behind, which is why
same question
every time the
to
Congress
Ramesh
loses,
Vinayak. Ramesh
Rahul
Vinayak is in Punjab, tracks Punjab politics very closely. Ramesh, if the Congress were to do well, like the Access My India exit poll is suggesting, would that be a victory more for Amrinder Singh, or do you think Rahul Gandhi also gets a part of the credit? Because he did bring Prashant Kishore in. Prashant Kishore helped strategize the campaign. That was done and pushed by Rahul Gandhi. So surely if people are fair, they must give the lead. If he gets the blame for a defeat, he must get at least part of the credit for victory.
I think Rahul, much of the credit would go to Captain Amrinder Singh. You know, he is a charismatic leader, and the whole election campaign was, moving around Captain Amrinder, and he has pan-Punjab kind of charisma. And I would say that if election goes in favor of Congress, Captain should, get much of the credit. And mind you that March 11, tomorrow, is also Captain Amrinder's 75th birthday. So we have to see whether he can have the cake and eat it too.
Okay, whether he can have the cake and eat it too. Shivam and Prashant both want to come in. Make
I think your namesake Rahul Gandhi is actually a liability for the Congress party and for Captain Amarinder Singh. He did not name Captain officially CM candidate till the very end. When 40 seats were still to be decided, Rahul Gandhi leaves poll-bound 5 states and goes abroad for 2 weeks in December and in January first week. So far from credit, Rahul Gandhi should get discredit. Rajiv said he's trying hard. I don't think Rahul is even trying hard.
Despite all your efforts, Rahul, you can see that none of the panelists are going to have a good word for Rahul Gandhi. But I'll tell you this: what Punjab, we know that Rahul was backing another candidate, was backing another person as the Punjab Congress leader. Amrinder had to fight his way in and get the leadership mantle. The point is that if Punjab is a Congress win, it will show that Congress can succeed only when it has good local leaders. The central high command of the Congress has decimated the local leadership of the Congress. Captain Amrinder Singh shows that if you want to win, you need good local leadership. In UP, if they win, your exit polls show they won't, but if they win, what is the Congress doing? It is piggybacking on good local leadership. What the Congress does not have in most states is good local leadership. What it definitely does not have is a good national leadership.
It doesn't have a good national leadership, is what you're saying.
Even Amarinder was very nervous in Punjab, and the credit would also go to Prashant Kishore.
No, absolutely. Because Prashant Kishore has helped the Congress run the smartest campaign I've seen the Congress run in many state elections. They've been sharp, their messaging has been good, they've been doing street theatre before rallies, there was Bhangra, all kinds of musical performances. They had a smart card asking people to call in if they wanted a job. All those ideas helped the Congress connect in ways in Punjab like it hasn't done elsewhere. That credit must be given to Prashant Kishore and his team. There can be no doubt about it. I want to go across to GVL Narasimha Rao. He's been listening patiently. GVL, we're talking now about Punjab. And this is a state BJP doesn't want to talk much about, it seems. Would you accept that if the BJP, because whether AAP wins or Congress, that's something the exit polls don't reveal very clearly, but what they do reveal is that your alliance, the NDA, is being hammered in Punjab. Will the BJP also take part of the blame, or will you only try and blame the Akhalis?
There is no question of blaming anybody, but you can see a wave across the countries, a wave sweeping across the country in favor of the BJP, thanks to the charismatic leadership of the Prime Minister.
Why is Punjab immune to the Modi wave?
So if Punjab doesn't really fall in the same track, and if Punjab, I'm coming to that, if Punjab doesn't follow the trend, I think I would consider that an aberration and not part of the general trend. And Chandigarh, where corporation polls were held only a month and a half ago, we swept the polls. in the capital city of joint capital of Punjab and Haryana. So certainly the Modi wave is there all across the country, and if we don't feel that in Punjab, that's certainly an aberration. And what are the possible reasons for it? We will sit and analyze thereafter. It doesn't really show in even a wee bit that the BJP hasn't worked. But certainly there are some local factors that could have gone against us. But we are not, our allies are very confident of doing well, as they have bucked this exit poll trends for several elections.
The fact is,
so we will
the
keep our
BJP
fingers
has
crossed.
campaigned the minimum possible in Punjab. What they're hoping is that they'll take credit for whatever happens in UP, whatever happens in Uttarakhand, whatever may happen in Goa. And when it comes to Punjab, they won't say it. GVL Narasimha Rao is being gracious here. But ultimately, if you talk to them off record, they'll say, "Hum to wahan choti party hai, sarkar to akali chala rahe the." That's what all BJP leaders will say. So if there is a defeat of the kind the exit polls are predicting, the blame will fall on Sukhbir Badal and Prakash Singh Badal.
Yeah, see, we are the senior partners here, so if we win, we take credit. If we don't win, we'll take the blame, no problem.
That's interesting. That's very matter of fact, and that's the way it really is. There's no going away from the fact that if you lose, you will have to take the blame for it. Sanjay Singh from the Aam Aadmi Party is with us. Sanjay ji, what the AAP would have liked is to eat into the vote share of both the Akalis and the Congress. What this exit poll says, you are taking away about 4% of the Congress vote share. The Congress is not increasing beyond where they were in 2012, but you're basically gaining at the expense of the Akalis. So unlike in Delhi where you gained both from the Congress and some from the BJP, here you're gaining more from the Akalis than you are from the Congress.
देखिए राहुल कंवल जी, मैंने आपसे कहा कि पूरी तस्वीर जानने के लिए आपको कल 10 बजे तक का इंतजार करना पड़ेगा, और आप देखिएगा कांग्रेस के भी वोट शेयर में से हमारा बड़ा हिस्सा आएगा, और अकाली दल और बीजेपी का जो वोट परसेंटेज था उसमें से भी बड़ा हिस्सा आम आदमी पार्टी में आएगा। और मैं आपसे सिर्फ ये कहना चाहता हूं कि टीवी चैनल्स के सर्वे और उनके ओपिनियन पोल्स और एग्जिट पोल्स की विश्वसनीयता इस समय बहुत संकट में है। हर टीवी चैनल अलग अलग सर्वे,
वो संकट हम अलग से लेंगे, वो संकट हम अलग से लेंगे। अगर गड़बड़ हुआ, राजदीप बड़ा अच्छा कहते हैं इस पे, राजदीप कहते हैं कि अगर सही निकला डेटा तो राज चिंगप्पा, राहुल कंवल, राजदीप सरदेसाई सब मिलके वाहवाही लूट लेंगे। अगर गलत निकला तो हम बोलेंगे भैया ये प्रदीप गुप्ता की गलती है, एक्सिस की गलती है, इससे हमारा कोई लेना देना नहीं। वो बात भी सही है, लेकिन अभी कोई शो देख रहा था आपका, उसने मुझे एसएमएस किया और कहा कि संजय सिंह ने सरदार सिंह छोटेपुर
चैनल का एक जिम्मेदार चैनल के एडिटर के तौर पे आप अपनी जिम्मेदारी से भाग रहे हैं।
नहीं, मैं मजाक कर रहा हूं। अरे मैंने इसको हल्के अंदाज में कहा, आप उसको
जिम्मेदारी से कैसे भाग सकते हैं?
संजय जी, of course we take one second. Sanjay ji, we take full responsibility. Of course, the fact that this is no, one second. This is our platform. I'm not being fallacious. No, I'm not trying to undermine our responsibility. Of course, if we get it wrong, we have part of the responsibility. Whether it's right or wrong, there's no doubt about it. But I'm only saying this is data by Access My India. It's their exit poll. Rajdeep, this is something that the AAP is saying again and again, that you can't run away from responsibility. And they have a point. Exit polls have been wrong about AAP. Access, by the way, was right about AAP in Delhi. They projected a big victory for AAP in Delhi. So, but it is correct that he's basically making the point that you can't run away from responsibility. Rajdeep.
I think there is a credibility crisis that pollsters face, Rahul. Let's be honest. I mean, I think, in my view, is a good poll is able to predict a better trend at times than journalists just traveling across the countryside. On the other hand, it is very possible also that polls today aren't carried out with the kind of scientific rigor that they should. I am very interested with the Pradeep Gupta model that he has, where he now goes to every constituency. So it's not like in the past where we did what we called random sampling. It's less of random sampling. You're actually going to every constituency. Having said that, unfortunately, the viewer expects an opinion poll, and so does the politician, to be like a mathematical sum. 1 + 1 = 2. Even if today we capture a trend, unless you get the exact number, people will not be satisfied. And in a three-cornered state like Punjab, where you have a new party emerging, that is almost impossible, because to get the exact seat numbers with a new party, how much vote is it taking away from Akalis, how much vote from the Congress, with no background to go towards, is very, very difficult. and therefore I wish the politicians and the viewers would give us a break. On the other hand, they could well turn around and say exit polls are a tamasha, they are designed only for TRPs. I disagree. I believe that exit polls are important, but we should not carry them with the kind of conviction and authority that we do, which unfortunately we are trapped into doing. All the analysis that you are doing this morning, Rahul, or the one that I did last night, we could have to do a 180 degrees turn and explain, for example, why Akhilesh and Mayawati are an important force even now in UP, why we are still in the stage of Mandal politics, or in Punjab, how the Akalis cannot be written off, the Panthik Sikh vote is still with the Akalis. That's the problem. It's the authority and conviction with which we carry these numbers that troubles me. But I do believe exit polls are important. They happen across the world, and many young Indian pollsters are becoming better because they are trying to bring in a certain rigor. I want them to be more transparent. Some of the pollsters should give the methodology. I'm not talking about raw data, but methodology in more exact terms than they do. Unfortunately, they don't do that, and that adds to the credibility crisis and then leads to even people like Narendra Modi calling us Bazaru. Forget about AAP, Rahul. Remember during the Delhi elections, when opinion polls were predicting BJP is losing, the Prime Minister in a public rally said the media and the exit pollsters are Bazaru. What did he say when AAP won? He didn't apologize. Will Sanjay Singh apologize if our polls are right and he is wrong? He won't. The politics of this country and the pollsters of this country both need to introspect, and so do we as journalists and editors. We also need to decide with what authority and finality are we going to carry these exit polls. Tomorrow we could have egg on our face. Mayawati will be searching for you, Rahul, and so will be Sukhbir Singh Badal if we get it wrong.
Okay, hopefully we will not get it wrong.
Exit polls get it so wrong that what the exit polls say, the opposite happens. No. So that is what I think we should presume is happening.
Access My India in particular has had a very good run since 2014. They've predicted all the big elections, they've called it right, and there is a difference between the way Access does its polls and some of the others. They're going constituency by constituency. So they've got a sample in every constituency, which essentially means Access can tell you, you pick a seat, you take a look, and he can tell you who's winning or who's leading or whether it's a tough fight. That's a different method of sampling, very different from what's been tried so far. It's not extrapolation of data or using some seats and extrapolating it over others. That's where a lot of polls in the past got it wrong. Access has got it right. They were right most recently in the BMC elections in Mumbai and all the other municipal elections. A very small seat, very small wards. They got it right. That's a phenomenal achievement psychologically. Whether or not all these polls are right, we will know tomorrow. But what we're essentially saying is that there's a lot of data, a lot of rigor. I've been to their office myself. They have sample sheets for every constituency. You can say, okay, show me data for Rampur. They're able to pull it out. So that's really the rigor with which it's done. It's really the best effort that can be made. We will know by about 1 p.m. tomorrow how correct all of this is. We're slipping into a break. Sanjay Singh, thank you so much for joining us. HS Bass, very, very matter of fact. GVL would have liked to discuss UP rather than Punjab, but he came on when we were discussing Punjab. So thank you. Thanks also to Rajdeep Sardesai and to Raj Chingappa for joining us. Thanks also to Ramesh Vinayak. We're slipping into a break. When we come back, in a while from now, I'm hoping to be joined by Keshav Prasad Maurya. Keshav Prasad Maurya is the BJP state unit chief for Uttar Pradesh. If this exit poll data is correct, he's the man who is most likely to be the next chief minister of the massive state of UP. He comes from the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, was MP from Phulpur, suddenly projected as the state unit chief. A lot of people felt he's a political lightweight. His presence, this data seems to suggest, has made a bit of a difference on the ground, helping the BJP aggregate and consolidate the non-Yadav OBC votes. So we'll have Keshav Prasad Maurya with us. We'll talk about the national big picture takeaways. If these exit poll numbers are correct, where does that leave the BJP, the Congress, the AAP and all the other players from a national perspective? We'll talk about that and a lot more when we come back on the other side of a very quick break. Stay.